Hey, this is Knitting Brow. I'm going to answer some questions that Knit Beth sent me a while back about my college experience. She posted a comment or sent me an email on a post I did called Albums I Gave to Knit SB. And she wants to know about my college experience. I went to the Columbus College of Art and Design, and her son Brock is attending here in the fall, or actually, I think for CCAD, they start middle of August, or if they still do that. And she wanted to know about, if CCAD impacted my knitting. It really did impact my knitting. What it has done for me is given me a love of color. I'm not afraid of color. I'm not afraid of really bright colors. I'm also not afraid of putting interesting colors next to each other. Colors that wouldn't be expected. This is one of the ways that I have really gotten good at color selection for Fair Isle knitting. And I like to think that my intarsia, when I start to do that, will be also benefiting from that color experience with CCAD. Beth also asked if there were certain classes that I would recommend taking. Well, it looks like Brock is going to be taking in graphic design and illustration, and I absolutely recommend taking the anatomy drawing class and any of the life drawing classes that he can get, because in particular that anatomy class was really good because it helped me understand the skeletal structure and muscular structure of the human body. You have to understand that if you want to do any sort of graphic representation of the body, so that you know how muscles work together with the bones. We did a great project on that where we actually had to do a drawing of a skeleton, a front and a back and a side, and then each week we had to do an overlay of certain muscles and where they were attached to the body. It was a really great experience. It was a lot of work, but I really benefited from it. And I still have that, that skeletal chart somewhere. Actually, it's in my studio, but I don't have it with me to show you. I would highly recommend taking Carol Griffith's watercolor class. I learned more in that watercolor class about two-dimensional design than I did in my two-dimensional design class. She did this exercise that I thought was wonderful, where she had slides of artwork, and we were asking about what size we thought they were, what the scale was. Of course, this was back in the day where we had slide projectors. And what she did is she started in the middle of the table, put this image on the wall, and then we had to figure out what the scale was, and she would actually move it up and down to give us the actual true representation, because what we oftentimes see in books or online is misleading to the scale. So that was a great year for me with her class, as well as one of my life drawing classes, or my drawing classes, where the teacher encouraged me to to draw on a really big scale, because I went into class and I had my, my regular drawing pad, which was, I don't know, 2 feet by 3 feet, and the teacher saw me really struggling with that, and what he recommended is that I bring in a big piece of board and I work on some large pieces of paper, and so that really freed me up to be really creative and expressive in my artwork. My drawings tended to be very, very realistic, but they were very, they had a lot of texture, visual texture to them as I was drawing, and it really made for, in my opinion, for some really nice visual texture and interest in the drawings. Let's see, well, it looks like Brock took Color Concept while he was in high school, and Color Concept was one of those classes. It was a lot of work, but boy, you needed to do it. My college experience was actually very good overall. The assignments that I had, you can guarantee that if it's a 3-hour class, you're going to be spending at a minimum of 9 hours outside of class time working on this stuff. It was really, really labor intensive. I did get through in 4 years, but I did take 2 summers worth of classes because of the credit hours. But I understand they've reduced the credit hours needed to graduate. So, hey, Beth, I hope that helps. And Brock, good luck to you. Absolutely take as many of the drawing classes as you can, because you got to train your eyes on how to see nature, and then train your hands on how to put it down on paper or on the computer. So this is a little bit about my colorful loops of daily living, and I hope you enjoy yours. Thanks.